Hakadosh Boker Or Mishna Yomi Masechet Orayot Perek Aleph, chapter 1. Okay, we're on Mishnah Bet and Gimel. Horu bedin v'yadu sheta'u. What happens if you have a bedin that they made a mistake, and then they realize they made a mistake, right? V'chazu ben, they retracted. Ben sheviu kaparatan ben shelo yiviu kapatam. Whether they already brought their atonement or not. V'alach v'asal pian, and somebody came and he didn't hear that they retracted, so he did it. Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon exempts him from bringing a chatat because even though they already retracted the rule, he didn't know about it. So the minute so if he doesn't know, so what? It's not really his fault. He thought that it was a regular halacha. Rabbi Eliezer says, "Safek." It's a matter of a doubt whether be'emet he's obligated to bring the chatat or not, because once they already retracted, it could be that he's not allowed to do it anymore. So now it's a question. Now what? Do you still consider him? So maybe he still has to bring the chatat, like he sinned accidentally. Ezu safek. What's a safek? Yashav lo betok beto. If he was in his house, he's going to be chayav. Why? Because he's required to go to find out from the bedin. Meaning a guy can't just sit at home and say, yeah, my rabbi told me a while back that, well, go check. What does that mean? Telech tivdok et halacha. Right? But if he went to Medinat Hayam and therefore he was doing it over there could be patur. Why? He was out of town. He didn't realize that they retracted and everything happened. Amar Rabbi Akiva, says Rabbi Akiva, modeh ani bezeh shu karov lepatur min hachovah. Right? Liftor min hachovah. He comes and he says, I agree that this person who's preparing to leave a journey is more likely exempt from the obligation. Amalo ben Azai, right? What's the difference this than somebody that stays at home? Okay, he's preparing to leave from home, but he didn't leave home yet. So what's the difference? Yeah, fine. So now he comes and he says, Shayoshev, if he's at home, he can listen to it. But this one, he's preparing to travel, he doesn't have the ability to hear. Meaning the guy that's traveling, he doesn't have the head. You see it all the time. When people are traveling, they're not there. Their mind is not. They're busy. They're already on the plane. They're already somewhere else. You understand? They're not. So they can't actually pay attention. Fine. Mishnah Gimel. Horu bedin la'akor kol guf. What happens right now if the bedin wanted to take away an ascension of the Torah prohibition bichlal? So kol guf halacha leduma amru en nida b'Torah. There's no such thing as nida, right? I see a lot of people would have been happy. But no such thing as nida. Tachshov en. So what happens? Or en Shabbat b'Torah, or en avodah zarah b'Torah. So what happens? Harelu pturim. In such cases, even if the majority of the community they do it, they're going to be exempt, right? Why? Because they're exempted from being a parelim davar. Every person who sinned has to bring his own chatat. Okay, he says because how could it be that a court is going to say such a ruling? It doesn't even make sense. But if they just say, okay, you know what? It's not that there's just a little bit of the halacha. Not completely. So then they're going to be chayav. Why? Because then so Keitzad. Amru yesh nida b'Torah aval abal shomer diyam kering yom patur. Or yesh abab Torah aval rotzim shudu bim patur. Right? Yesh avodah zarah b'Torah v'mishtachaveh ze gemi patur. Harelu chayavin. That's chayav. Meaning they said they didn't say that there's no nida. There is nida. But shomer diyam kering is patur. Nesur yasur. But they said patur. So they made a mistake in part of the halacha. Or for example, there is Shabbat. But they said you're allowed to take out from Rishut Echid to Rishut Rabbi. Or they went and said there is Avodah Zarah, right? But if you bow down to Avodah Zarah, you're patur. So in all these cases, they were only mevatel part of the mitzvah. So since you're only mevatel part of the mitzvah, you're going to be chayav. Okay? But he says, Shneimar, but says the pasuk, v'ne'elam davar v'lo kol haguf. When it says v'ne'elam davar, and that's when you bring the par, it's only what's v'ne'elam chelek davar, lo kol davar. If it's kol hadavar, it's yoter midai. It's baruch, it's lo nachon. Right? So therefore, you shouldn't have listened, even if they told you that. So therefore, it has to be that it's only going to be a small little portion.